All right, we're live. Good evening, all. We have the All the Rage cast members here. We got Jay. Oh, sorry, I hate Kevin,
I was gonna say,
Jesse, and
I don't know how you have the audacity to call it a good fucking night.
Great night. Great night.
I failed to inform Jace that Kevin was coming on because I thought it would be funnier for him to just be surprised by that. But yeah, so we had an interesting week of football. Better than some, I would say. There's actually 4 games that I thought were interesting enough to talk about from last week. Then we'll get on to what's going on next week and any news that happened. There is next week is probably one of the best weeks of the season. Well, I would say it is in terms of like the matchups. There's some big games. Looking forward to that. We'll get into all those, but yeah. So we'll just start off with Baltimore beating Cincinnati, 35-34. Joe Burrow had a stat line of 34 of 56 for 428 and 4 touchdowns, and still lost the game. Jamar Chase had 264 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Jared Goff throws 5 picks and the line
And wins. Yeah, so that was kind of a crazy one. I mean, what do we think about Cincinnati right now? Is it, I mean, clearly, is there anyone else on the team that isn't Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow? That's probably the issue.
Clearly not. I just feel bad for Joe Burrow personally. I'm like, this dude has dropped like 10 touchdowns against the Ravens in 2 games, and he hasn't won either game. And they arguably should have won both games. Like,
Yeah.
the refs missed 2 atrocious calls on their 2-point conversion. They should have got a retry at the one. But now it's the NFL, and they just miss calls all the time. The game gets ruined at the end, but
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah, you just feel bad for old Joe.
Well,
Old
just
Joe,
agree
he ain't
that I
that
didn't play them in
I'm
fantasy
sure
this
with
week.
your TJ Watt jerseys in your closets, that
Yeah.
you and Kevin feel fucking just downright terrible.
Can you just see it on my face how bad I feel?
Yeah, you look like absolutely broken up about it, to be 100% honest.
Yeah, but it would have been better for you guys if the Ravens
I
had lost, but
would have. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was really looking for the Ravens to lose that game, but well, they didn't. Yeah. So that kind of makes things. I mean, it makes things a lot more interesting going into next week when we play them. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I just feel like after watching them play twice this year, it just proves that zero team has any defense. And I get that the Ravens are like considered a Super Bowl contender by probably everybody. But I don't know, man. Like, they're getting shredded every week. Like, their defense
do not
is
have a
hot
defense.
garbage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man.
They have one of the worst ranked defenses in the NFL right now. They just managed to. I mean, they have Derrick Henry, who just, if he can run it down people's throats, they can do that. And Zay Flowers on the bomb. I mean, they have an offense, but it doesn't equate to much when you don't have a defense to hold up the other end of the game. You know,
it's fine against like mediocre to like slightly above average teams, but once you start playing these playoff teams, like I don't know, I just kind of feel like it's going to be the same old story with the Ravens.
Yep.
Yeah,
Agreed.
you know it's bad when Marlon Humphrey's the best player in your secondary, and the more you watch that motherfucker, his prime is very clearly past him. So
Yeah, 10 years ago he was the best
Yeah.
player in that secondary.
oh yeah, don't forget Kyle Hammy, but
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Kyle
Andy
Hammond.
said Roquan and Kyle Hamilton. That's it.
hey, we all had a Madden franchise together, and we did a fantasy draft to start it. And I started literally screaming Kyle Hammy at my TV because I drafted him. Anytime we got an interception, he actually
It's all right
he
in a
might be
video
my
game,
favorite
though.
Raven. Just
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, they just clearly don't have much going on for them. I mean, they've won 7 games, but I feel like unless they're playing a really horrible team, okay, the games that they've lost, what are they? They are
The Raiders,
the Raiders,
the Chiefs.
the Chiefs, and the Panthers. Wasn't it the
No,
Panthers that beat them?
No.
It's the Gardner Minshew.
Oh,
led win,
the
too, I do
Browns.
believe.
It's the
Shut
Browns.
Yeah, it
the
was the
fuck
Browns.
up.
It's the no. I was thinking that that was the Raiders that lost to the Panthers. Sorry, I'm mixing up my teams here. No, it was the Browns. They lost to the Browns with Deshaun Watson.
No, it was
I
Jameis
think?
Winston.
Was it
You think
Jameis Winston?
Deshaun Watson's beating an
I was
NFL
gonna
team?
say, yeah. So they've lost to the Browns, the Chiefs, which frankly they should have actually won against the Chiefs. We all remember that game and the tip of
Yep.
the toe being over the line. Seems like the
Yeah.
Chiefs
Another-
are just sacrificing babies at pregame or something. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
they're
well-
calling they're saying it's not a coincidence that the Chiefs and the Steelers play on Christmas, and they're calling it the Black Magic Bowl because
Yeah.
like
Well,
There's
I'd be
some
willing to
sorcery
bet that
involved.
end zone line was not painted to regulation. It was probably extra wide.
Yeah. What's
That's why they got away with that.
yeah. Well, I will say that they got away with one this week on a blocked kick that Denver was going to beat them, and Denver
all my
just
fault, too.
absolutely did a horrible job. Like, I was watching like a few people talk about that block kick, and like they have like three dudes out of position that were out of position all game, and Kansas City must have known this. They were on the wrong hash for these dudes that were out of position, and it was literally just like an easy block. Broncos actually fucked it up that bad.
Like, you never see blocked 35-yard field goals. Like, it's usually like 50-yarders where you actually have to like line drive it to like get the distance. But no, 35-yard field goal blocked never happens.
Yeah.
I'm
Well-
just disgusted. Like, how does the
well-
Broncos staff not notice?
I think it's actually I don't blame the Broncos staff. It's awfully funny that you're the one talking about this, Jesse, because you put in the group chat, Chiefs are about to lose, LOL.
Sure did.
I'm
Sure
watching.
did.
I'm sitting there with Carly in my own living room watching the Commanders and the Steelers game, and then all of a sudden I look and it's like the Chiefs game goes to final, and they
Yeah.
didn't lose.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's all my fault. Like, if I just wouldn't have fucking said anything, the Broncos would have won. They wouldn't have got their kick blocked. But no, blame me.
Well, let's be honest. Do you even have a special teams coordinator if he doesn't have a half a mouth of big league chew?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is a
Or-
special teams coordinator that isn't going to choke on a giant wad of gum?
Either that or
Fair.
they have to have that, or it's any special teams coordinator figured out with an Italian last name. That's what you need.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's the key. Yeah, that's what pissed me off is like the black magic shit's not even that far fetched. You can call it bad coaching, but getting like a 33, 34-yard field goal blocked to remain undefeated, like I'm fucking tired of this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, look no further than what I think. Who like tore their ACL just walking onto the sideline or onto the field in the Super Bowl? Was it Trey Greenlaw or somebody?
Trey Green,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, he literally just walked onto the fucking field and just busted his knee. I'm like, okay, great.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Like, this is just the shit that happens, and I don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how it goes for the Chiefs, and it's really funny because I just remember similar things happening when the last dynasty was around with the Patriots, and every single time the Patriots would get a win, it'd be on some bullshit like the Jesse James no catch that they changed the whole fucking rule around. I was at that game, and fuck that call. We were playing for first seed, by the way.
He caught that ball.
He caught the ball. They changed the fucking rule. How many rules are going to be changed because of fucking Patrick?
Jesse
Mahomes?
That's
James
all right.
did not catch it, and neither did Franco. Let's just get that out there.
Yeah.
I was gonna say they paid for it in the Super Bowl with Zach Ertz actually them calling his touchdown a catch on like the same play. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
at least they got fucked on that
What
one.
goes
but-
around comes around.
Well, what they're not talking about with this December 25th game coming up is that we're going to have Russ and Sierra versus Travis and Taylor.
Oh God.
Oh God, just
I
what
wonder-
everyone wants.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? His fucking future's coming to the game, and he's going to have a Chiefs jersey on.
Future
They're-
and
they're
Kanye are gonna
literally-
show up.
He's going to be at fucking midfield, literally with Wiz. They're like, "Way yeah, that." They're like that. You do that, Russ loses. Like,
Yeah.
how do you compete with that?
Russell just call in fucking Kanye.
On
He'll just
future?
No, he'll call in Kanye on the Taylor Swift juju.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's actually the perfect counter. You should do that.
Yeah, just bring in Kanye, Trump, bring them all in. Just send them all to the game.
I'll tell you what.
He's been
Say
to a
what you
Steelers
want.
game this year.
Say what you want about the man.
Bring in
Trump,
Migos.
if Trump can break the Taylor Swift curse, actually, he might get a third term.
I'm
Yeah,
afraid his
no.
McDonald's shift is over in Pittsburgh, though, so I don't
Yeah.
think he'll be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ain't
so-
serving fries.
No.
Yeah, but that was the other one I had. Kansas City obviously still remains undefeated. They win over Denver by 2 points. Shitty, but I guess that just is what it is. It's in the
Sure
books
is.
now. Not much you can do at that point. The other one here that I had Detroit beating the Texans 26-23, and that we kind of touched on that. I mean, Jared Goff throwing 5 picks, and not just like throwing 5. One of them was a Hail Mary, but like they were bad picks.
I
All of them
still
were
cannot
bad.
believe they won that game. Like, how bad are the Texans to let them? Like, they couldn't capitalize off 5 turnovers.
Yeah.
I get that they had no one on offense, but my God, you can't lose that game. It was like what, 23-6 at halftime or something. It wasn't
Well,
close.
did they get Nico back?
No, he didn't play.
Oh, he didn't play? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, he was a game time decision. That's what.
Well, even still, like CJ Stroud had 2 interceptions. Fucking.
The one in the end zone was bad too.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, and how many did Goff have that got tipped somehow?
There was only like
At least 2.
one of them was a Hail Mary,
Yeah, so that one you can.
and I think one of them was tipped. And
No,
then the
there-
other, there was a few that were. I
there
mean, it was
were-
just a couple were just bad.
I think there was one that was tipped at the line, and then there was one that I can't remember if there was like a linebacker that was trailing somebody or something that just happened to get a hand on it, and then somebody picked it.
Mhm.
So, he's still, it's 5 interceptions is 5 interceptions, but it wasn't like, it looks worse than it actually is, I feel like.
Well, mostly because the Texans then just kept giving it back to them. Like the Texans did nothing with any of those turnovers. They did nothing, and
Yeah,
they
they
just
couldn't run the ball at all. They have no receivers to catch the ball either, so it's a miracle that they
literally
scored
just-
any points.
it was just CJ and Jared Goff just throwing the ball back and forth to each other like hot potato. Like they're like, no, you take it.
Yeah, and the Texans are one of those teams that I think everybody expected a ton of this year. All they did was add; they didn't really lose, and they just have looked god awful at times,
Mhm.
to the point where somebody can throw 5 interceptions and still beat you.
Yeah.
Is like they're probably, I think, one of the top disappointments in the NFL so far this year.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
it's
gonna have a wild card spot.
Well, no,
It's-
they're just yeah, they'll win the division, but
Mhm.
Honestly, like at this point, like the Steelers and the Chiefs, just for me personally, maybe not with America, but the Chiefs and the Steelers are very much like the bad dark magic. And I just feel like, it's very much like I'm picturing like a monk cleric or something, like walking behind like Dan Campbell, like blessing him everywhere he goes. Just
Yeah.
like, may
Yeah.
God's light bless
They're
you.
just on the
And
sideline with Sage.
yeah, basically, Satan's pulling the strings for the other 2 teams.
Yeah.
And then, it's just like, oh God, please let Detroit win. Please
Don't
just
worry.
let the Lions keep
Well,
going.
Well, unlike Jace, the rest of America doesn't hate the Steelers, so they're the dark magic team for Jace.
No,
well,
there's
the
a lot of
Steelers-
there's a lot of people that hate the fucking Steelers. You're just blind to
The
it.
Steelers getting
You
better,
think
I think
you
a
think
lot
Gardner
of people are
Minshew's
thinking
a
maybe
good quarterback?
that
So
much.
what the fuck do you actually know about fuck all?
No, we'll clarify. I have been on the Gardner Minshew train, but all I've said is that he deserves a shot.
His
I mean,
shot
he's
has
gotten
been
a shot at
Yeah,
multiple
With a
times
good
now.
team.
Yeah,
With a good team. With a good team. With a good team.
Put him
with a good
on the
team.
Niners. He'll do great.
Well, yeah, I mean, anyone in a good situation,
he's
but
no Brock Purdy.
I
Don't-
could do good on the fucking Niners.
No, Purdy's elite. Y'all are just
oh,
haters.
stop! Don't even get me
Brock
started.
Purdy, Joe Flacco, same conversation.
Well, yeah, there I'll go with you on that one. But.
Yeah,
Well,
and I think.
I mean-
good.
There are guys like that have played for the 49ers that weren't good, like Trey Lance. So he's
He
at
just
least
can't
better
play
than Trey
football, but-
Lance.
Are you talking the third or fourth quarterback on the Dallas Cowboys that they paid a 4th-round pick for? Trey Lance?
Yeah, that guy.
Sure.
Well, I'm just making an example. Not everybody can play in a college hand system.
Fair.
Yeah.
You got to be able to play football at least, which he cannot.
Yeah.
It's okay though. They drafted him in like the top 5, so
Yeah.
no big deal.
And Dak is also appears to be out for the year on a side
Yeah, he's
note.
done.
So Cowboys are not worth talking about again this season.
No,
Fine.
they're
Well,
good.
I mean, they're already trending that direction anyways. But
Yeah.
There's one thing that we can all sit here and agree on and be happy about, you know.
Fuck the Cowboys.
Yeah,
Being irrelevant.
the fact that, you know, they're basically just non-watchable because it's going to be Cooper Rush and Jonathan Mingo.
Did he even play last week? Did Jonathan Mingo even play?
I have no
that
idea.
that was the one game. There weren't a lot of good games last week. That was the one I watched the least of.
Yeah. Just the Eagles absolutely stopping them. And then the last one, obviously, from this last week was a big one. Not just
Wait,
for...
before you move on, you
Go ahead.
got to remember Jerry Jones.
Oh,
thinks his
yeah.
stadium is
Well,
fine.
yeah, while we're talking about the Cowboys, we can't forget about Jerry Jones cracking. I mean, he has gone off, like, he's done. He's gone off
You
the
need to
rocker.
like look up his quote real quick because
Yeah.
it's too fucking hilarious.
I will find it.
But no,
right now.
blatantly CeeDee Lamb after he misses a touchdown in the end zone, sitting here going like this because he literally can't see the football because there's just a massive sun ray coming in his face. But no, it's not a problem, Jerry.
No.
Oh, yeah,
They
he
have
was
curtains
hands up for
on
that
the
ball.
windows too. That's the worst
Yeah.
part. And they close them for other events. But football games, crack them open, baby. Why would you need to see during a football game? You know?
You know why? You actually know why they're doing that. Because Jerry Jones and Cowboys fans as a whole are so fucking self-deluded and self-obsessed and deluded to the point that was with the old Texas stadium. That was what they always said about the retractable roof was, oh, so God could watch.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
And you know, Jerry Jones's fucking old, dementia-riddled ass actually believes that. He's probably
Oh, you
like,
fucking know he does. He absolutely
oh,
does.
if we shut out the good Lord on Sundays, I can actually hear him.
Oh, I can too.
Let's take a peek at this. Yeah, he says,
Yeah, this quote is gold.
that really does go under the category of home field advantage. His receiver this week literally did not catch a ball because of this anyway. It should be an advantage to the home team, so I don't want to adjust it for one reason, because it is an advantage to us. That's our advantage. That should be our advantage. He's just losing his fucking mind. We get to play there more, and we get to have it as an advantage. It has been an advantage for us to know where the sun is. I don't want to change that.
And then there's an
Jerry,
even better
everybody
quote
knows
somewhere.
where the sun's at. You don't because you have fucking sundowners.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's bad. I mean, he pretty much just went on a whole rant after the game and was going on about the sun
It's
and
made to
people
feel
know where
like
the
it's
sun is.
outdoors when you're indoors.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's like, dude, shut the you have
Yeah,
curtains on it. Shut
He
the
just
fucking curtains.
refuses to take responsibility for it. That's the reality of the situation.
Yeah, no.
And he
he's
doesn't give a
completely
single
lost.
shit what anyone thinks. He doesn't care what any of his players think. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants. He's going to run his team because it's his team. He'll be the first to remind you of that. So you might as well just I don't even know why they ask him questions at this point.
Yeah.
And as somebody who has I lived through this very scenario when Al Davis started losing his fucking mind from like 2003 on. And I can assure you that Cowboys fans, nobody's weeping for you except fellow Cowboys fans, but you're in for some dark fucking days.
Yeah. Just wait until every pick is related to their 40 time.
Yeah, literally. I tell
Yeah,
him to go
get
watch
ready.
the Yankees, but oh wait.
Yeah, you'll be drafting fucking people like Darius Hayward Bay, 7th overall. Have fun. Which I
He
won't
did really
slander
good for the
that man.
Steelers
He
10
had
years after
spurts,
that.
and every time he would actually start putting together a decent run, he would get fucking concussed in the most just violent way possible. It felt like
Yeah,
he
Ben
gets
loved
some
him in
momentum, and then
Pittsburgh.
I can't remember. It might have been Ryan Clark tried to decapitate him one time when we played
Probably.
the Steelers.
That seems right. Ryan Clark did that a lot.
Yeah, Ben loved him in Pittsburgh. There was a lot of good momentum he had going there.
And I believe the same thing happened. He got fucking his head taken off again
Yeah.
Well, he was
by
also
Eric
like
Weddle.
90,
I don't know
think, when
why
he
I
got
remember that.
Yeah, he was like a dinosaur when he came to us.
there. Yeah, he was no longer the fastest receiver in the league. He was like the fourth slowest.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, Dallas is going. They're just. I mean, they're just going to be the joke of the NFC East for
I
quite a
mean,
while.
you
at this
forget the
point.
Giants are in this division, so you know.
Which one's a bigger joke though right now? I
I
just
mean,
feel like
Did they
it's got to
already
be
play
the
them
Cowboys
before?
because
Giants.
the
The
Cowboys
Giants might
have
get them clean.
expectations.
No.
Nobody
I
has
mean-
expectations for the Giants. People,
Yeah, but the Giants
Cowboy
are
fans
literally
think they're going to the Super Bowl every year.
Well, yeah, they do, but They don't now.
There was at least a little bit of like there was a flicker of something with Daniel Jones when they gave him his deal. They paid Dak just so they didn't fucking lose him.
yeah,
And now that like that contract and everything they did in the offseason just looks
Which
so
is nothing.
much just nothing. Yeah, just so much funnier. Like you made CD wait on his deal for how long? Meanwhile, you backed up the Brinks truck for Dak, who is now going to fucking sit the rest of this year. Like you can't fucking manage a franchise any worse. Like this is Browns level shit at this point. That's how much this man has
Oh,
lost
it
his
is,
fucking
yeah.
mind.
It is, yeah. It's very.
Well, and to
Well,
go
this
back
is-
to what Carly was saying about not having any expectations for the Giants, just to put a little cap on that, there's a guy who was on the DA show on CBS Sports Radio who's a big Giants fan, and he made the bet that if they didn't last with their GM and head coach for 2 seasons, he would leave the show.
no.
Like
Oh.
that was the goal. Keep a coach for 2 seasons.
Yeah. That is low on the expectations. Yeah, no, that's what makes me feel like the Cowboys are more of a joke is just that their fans actually think that they're going to be good every year. And they're
Well, that's a joke in and of itself.
Well, yeah, but the fans are just on a different planet. So
yeah. Speaking of a team that nobody thought was going to be good this year, the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Commanders 28-27.
which
Well,
team
that's
did we
2
not
teams.
think was going to be
Yeah,
good
2
this year?
teams that could
The
possibly-
Steelers.
Oh, I was thinking the Commanders because I didn't think
Well,
they'd
that
be
too.
good.
I mean, you called in for the Jaden Daniels call out
Well,
on
yeah.
the best performing rookie quarterback, but yeah, this game was. I mean, what a good game! It was a good. It showed something that the Steelers haven't showed in a long time outside of just like generally having offense, but we were able to overcome a pick, a fumble on the 1 yard line, a fake punt that went sideways. We were able to overcome all those things and still win the game. And that's just not something that the Steelers have done outside of, throwing the ball more than 20 yards on a play. That also is something the Steelers fans haven't been used to in the last 4 fucking years. But it's exciting as a Steelers fan to see a team that has some grit and they can overcome some stuff, and they messed up a lot in this game and they managed to make it work. So
I still just can't believe that dude jumped off sides. Like they're very
Oh,
obviously
yeah.
just trying to make them jump. There's no
I
scenario
mean,
in which
how
Mike Tomlin's
stupid can
going
you
for
be,
that.
man?
Like my God,
How dumb can you be, dude? I guess he's a rookie too. He just
was he?
yeah, just
He might be a
excited to make
rookie
the
at
big
Starbucks.
play. Yeah.
Oh,
Literally
yeah,
just
getting a
cost them
prime
the game.
location in the podcast there.
Yeah, no, I think it's exciting to see a Steelers team that's overcoming issues and being able to like have a little bit of offense. I feel like the team itself, like everybody seems to believe in Russell Wilson. He has like a whole different like aura than he's had in years. Like I was watching a video of him on the Broncos and like teammates are just coming over and screaming at him. Like there's some like random like linebacker or something that came over and just like screamed at Russ on the sideline on the Broncos, and he's just standing there listening to him. And it's just like this man has 3.5 sacks in 4 years. It's just like there he is, just like screaming at Russ, and it's just obviously Sean Payton wanted him out of there, and I mean, yeah, he's playing really good football right now.
The
Not
best
Oh,
thing
and that
about
was-
the Steelers is watching George Pickens.
oh, so good. I mean, it's insane.
That's not the
like,
route that I was thinking.
I'm not even getting at that. It's just
Yeah.
one play. He is literally has 6 commanders in front of him. He stiff arms one, jumps straight into the air, and then immediately starts talking shit and
yeah,
tries to fight everybody at once on the sideline.
yeah,
The
he
next
has been doing
play
that.
makes it just bends his body, catches an absolute beauty. Horrible throw from Russ, but he made up for it.
Yeah.
Catches that, and then Russ throws a pick downfield. He doesn't pursue the ball carrier. He just decides to grab the fucking corner and just
And
body
just
slam
Hip
him.
toss him.
yeah,
He's
and
just like, fuck this guy.
yeah.
Like, there's literally somebody, that guy could be scoring a touchdown going that way, but I'm going to
He
start
don't
a
give
fight
the
with this
slightest
No.
shit. Nope.
That is one thing
that-
I would like them to beat out of him, but it is funny to watch.
Well, they won't ever do that because that's what you guys do. It's the Antonio Brown thing. You trade him to any other team, he'll be in fucking jail in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
He'll be in
Really.
jail
You
in 2
guys are
weeks.
the
Yeah.
only ones that manage to. I don't know what Tomlin does. It might be black magic,
It must
or
be.
voodoo, or something, but or just how he like hypnotism. I have no fucking clue how he keeps these guys from being complete fucking crash out.
yeah.
But the second you trade him anywhere else, yeah, he would be in a mugshot within 30 seconds of landing in said city.
It all started with Santonio Holmes. He was patient 0 for that in our receiver rooms.
That's true.
I mean, what's the worst that happened? Like Le'Veon got caught smoking weed with LeGarrette Blunt on McKnight Road or whatever. That was about it.
No, it was Le'Veon got caught smoking weed with LeGarrette Blunt, and I think Antonio Brown was going like 100 and some miles an hour on McKnight Road the one time. But that was
Which-
like the extent of anything they ever. Which, like, how do you even find the fucking space to go 100 miles an hour on McKnight Road? By the way.
No, I was about to say, like, I pretty much every time I was on McKnight, there'd always be one dickhead in a Porsche or a BMW or something that
Oh,
was
yeah.
doing like 110 plus in the left lane. He just got caught on a bad day. You know?
Yeah, that's what
that's
I'm
just
saying.
Pittsburgh.
He had to have come from somewhere else because I don't think I've ever once just seen a cop pulling people over on McKnight Road for going too fast.
Well, they got him on fucking like a traffic camera or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yikes.
But yeah, I don't know. I think watching Russ right now is fun. It's fun to watch the Steelers offense. It's fun to watch an offense. We haven't actually had an offense in years. We finally have a quarterback that understands that if you throw it in the general vicinity of George Pickens, he'll probably catch it.
Well, it's the first quarterback we've had with ball skills since Ben had his surgery on his shoulder or his elbow. I mean,
Well, yeah. Since the elbow surgery, you're totally right in that. I mean, our
Mason
offense
had
has been
slight
bad.
ball skills, but Russell actually has touch on throws, knows where to put the ball.
I mean, Mason was probably better than some. I mean, he's better than Mitch Trubisky. I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah. Well, Mitch Trubisky had really good touch on throwing interceptions over the middle.
Yeah, he's really good at throwing it straight to other dudes.
I forgot Trubisky was even a Steeler. Yikes. I guess he was.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
that's what they said.
Andy just mentioned Jeff Reed's public urination.
Oh yeah, yeah.
As
good
the
God.
Steelers falling apart.
Yeah, but I always love that story because I can't remember exactly, but they're like when authorities found him, he was just hammered in a Sheetz fucking bathroom, just punching the shit out of a paper towel dispenser.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Jeff
Jeff
Reed, he was our
Reed.
kicker.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
You'll have that with some of them kickers. Pat McAfee was caught swimming somewhere in Indianapolis and got busted.
I mean,
For
hey, they
public
make billions of dollars
intoxication.
to do
Wow.
football.
Kickers think they're football players, so they got to start acting up. So.
Whoa,
Like,
no,
the
for the
best
brand.
story with fucking McAfee was when he was in West Virginia, and Rich Rodriguez was still the head coach, and they had a party, and a bunch of guys got in trouble or something, and they called McAfee, and he's like, "I've heard 10 different stories, and they all start at your fucking house."
I used to know a guy like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, is there anything else anybody wants to mention about that game?
Well, I just watching that game, Jaden Daniels, I think has like to me, he's coming in kind of like Russell came in. Just he's a little bit more mobile of a quarterback than Russell was. He's got pretty good ball skills. I think like he's going to be somebody that's around for a while.
Oh yeah.
And like the Steelers have won some games and it's been close on a lot of them, but this was one of the first ones where it was like, this is a really good team
Yeah.
they're going
Yeah.
up against, and it was two good teams going up against each other.
Yeah.
I think
You could
this
definitely
actually-
feel it at the
This
end of that game.
actually says more, I think, about even though the Commanders lost, I think the fact that, you know, you can say what you want about the end of the game. Maybe if that dumbass doesn't jump off, they have a chance to possibly go kick a field goal and win it. Even though they didn't win, I think this is more of a, not that I'm not shitting on the Steelers at all.
Oh yeah, no, I
but
mean I agree.
I think this is more a testament to Jaden Daniels is for fucking real, and they just came within a point and a boneheaded move away from possibly beating a team that could very well be in a fucking conference championship game this year.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's looking good. They did get. I mean, we really did shoot ourselves in the foot a lot in that game. The pick, the. I mean,
Fumble
the
at
pick
the
was
one
basically
somehow.
a fumble at the one. We lost out on a touchdown because of that.
I mean,
We-
honestly, if you score that, the game's not even that close.
Yeah, right. We score that. The Jalen Warren fumbles, and I mean, what can you do? But we shot ourselves in the foot where that game could have been it looked a lot different had if we get those things together and try to be a little bit more cohesive in the back stretch here of the season, I think so. And while we're just talking about them, since we're already talking about them, next week we play
Tomorrow or
the Ravens on Sunday. So that is, let me see. Baltimore is favorited by 3 points at Pittsburgh's home stadium, Acrisure. They're in Pittsburgh. Baltimore is favored by 3 points with an over-under of 48, which gives an implied point total of 25 Baltimore, 22 Pittsburgh.
I feel like Steelers Raven games are always like in the teens somehow though. Like I don't
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't see it. Like I feel like it's always like super close, super low scoring.
It's one of the two. It's either going to
Mhm.
be a 13-10 game or it's going to be like 38-35.
Yeah.
Like in recent years, we've never been able to score 30 points in a game.
Yeah.
So it hasn't
Right.
been that. But there were back in the Ben heydays, you would have either that. It'd be either a 13-10 or a 38-35, something like that.
Yeah.
But it'd be coming down to the final play of the game to see who won it.
Yeah, and lucky for us, Baltimore has a horrible defense. So I feel like this is going to be one of those that is a much higher scoring game than you would typically expect to see from these two teams. We all know Lamar has a long history of being a literal ass against the Steelers. He's 1-6 against us, I'm pretty sure.
That's pretty wild. I
He's
feel like
Gotta
no
get off
one
the
talks
schneid
about that.
sometimes.
Oh yeah, nobody but Steelers fans talk about that because everybody wants to be delusional and just be like, oh yeah,
well,
no,
everyone's just obsessed with Lamar Jackson, so they're just like, oh,
yeah,
well, the
Lamar
Ravens.
Jackson in 6 games versus the Steelers has 7 fumbles, 4 touchdowns, 7 picks, a 66.8 passer rating, has been sacked 20 times, and has a 59% completion percentage. Like,
TJ
he
just
just
harasses
shits the bed
fuck
against
out of
us.
him.
Yeah. He's just
Well,
not
I
good
think,
against us.
yeah, with TJ this week, Preston Smith, I think, getting a little bit
Yeah.
more reps
Good
in
pickup.
that game than he would have normally gotten in that Commanders game, being his first game there, will help towards this week, I think.
I know I
So,
saw a little locker room talk after practice or something with Preston Smith where he was saying that, you know, he really hopes that he can do a lot more in this game and be a lot more involved, so that he said he's been watching Steelers Ravens games film over the years, and he said he wants to be one of the players that when you watch a Steelers Ravens clips of big plays, you see him in it as a Steeler, and I think that's pretty cool that he's embracing the divisional rivalry. And I mean, this game should just be played in a dark alley, I think.
In a
Like
dark
this,
alley.
the way these
I'm
two teams are.
Well, I
Obviously,
think for
no,
this,
we're going right wing in this country because Carly's just sitting there talking about locker room talk.
Well, I mean, yeah,
Jesus.
but yeah, no. I mean, this game is going to be a beatdown game. It always is. We'll see.
well, I think one of the things with Preston Smith too that will help for the Steelers is he is a slightly larger guy, so they can not only use him on the edge, they can move him into the middle some to play some of that defensive end, to give some guys spells too, and get him more playing time to be more of an impact player. I mean, this guy was an All-Pro player at one point in his career. He's fallen off a little bit, but when you got as much talent on that defensive front as they do, you can help a guy shine a little bit.
yeah, for sure.
I think I compared it last week, Kevin, to James Harrison, Lamar Woodley, where Woodley wasn't all that, but you got talent on the other side with TJ and Highsmith.
Well, Highsmith is
Oh, yeah.
still. He did not practice today with that ankle. It honestly looks like a low ankle sprain, and he should be back soon, despite the fact that his whole ankle was like
Yeah, he was
this to
standing
the
on his
bottom.
ankle.
Yeah. But he should be back in the next couple weeks. Doesn't look like it's anything crazy. It's a low ankle sprain, so he did
Well,
not practice today, so he won't be playing this week. I don't
We
think.
got Herbig back as well, and then you
Yep.
got I believe Jeremiah Moon's still on the
Yeah.
active roster, so they've
Yep.
got plenty of pieces to rotate.
For sure, and we also have Cam Sutton back. He came back off his I forget what he was even suspended for, but then I just saw oh yeah, he's back. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy is on our team.
Wasn't
He
he
ran
one of
from
the
the fucking
gamblers?
authorities and shit.
Oh
didn't he?
yeah, yeah. I don't
Wait,
remember
what did he
was
do?
even-
He was playing for the Lions, and he had like a warrant out for his arrest.
Nice.
And I think if I remember correctly, I think they tried to serve it at the Lions facility, and they were like, "Yeah, bro, we haven't heard from him either. Like, we have no idea where this dude's at." And
he's back.
I don't want to quote anything or be offensive in any way. I think it was not sexual assault maybe, but like domestic violence or something that he was accused of, and I believe he was actually cleared of. Either
Yeah.
cleared of or charges were dropped or something, whatever, and yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. He technically was back last week, but he just got off of suspension, and I totally forgotten that he was even there until I read an article about him being back, and I'm like, all right, I forgot
Well,
about
again,
it.
a guy literally goes to Detroit, fucking is a fugitive from justice, and then they
Comes
send him
back.
to Pittsburgh, and the guy's a fucking altar boy. Like,
Yeah.
explain
Walter
it to
Payton,
me.
Man of the Year, probably.
Yeah, probably. They're gonna picture him. He's gonna be painting one of the Catholic churches downtown with the fucking
Yeah.
nuns. Like,
Yeah,
make it make sense.
yeah.
I don't know. The big thing going into this week that I'd really like to see is somebody really step up to be the number 2 receiver, because you still haven't had a defined number 2 on this offense yet.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
Williams could do that.
we need a Robin for our Batman.
Yeah.
Well, Williams, I'm still concerned with the drops that he had in New York. I mean, you say what you want about Aaron Rodgers, those passes were in his hands at chest
Well,
level. They should have been caught.
Aaron Rodgers is also a whiny bitch. I don't take anything he says
There's also a
seriously.
chance he was just disinterested in being there because that place is
He's
a shit
already
show.
throwing shade at fucking. Did you see him post he posts an Instagram or something where he's throwing shade at something Rodgers said about him?
I feel like I remember hearing about it.
Yeah. But it was I kept seeing on Twitter, it was Mike Williams points scored last week 6. Jets points scored last week as a whole
6.
6.
Again, that ties into the black magic voodoo shit. Like, you didn't see Mike Williams all game long. And when Russ threw that ball, I was like, this is a prayer.
Yeah.
There's got to be a safety just sitting back here waiting for it. And as soon as I saw the jersey number, I didn't ever see the ball land to be like, touchdown.
Yeah.
This is going to
Yeah,
be.
and the funny thing is he was only even in on that play because Calvin Austin was out. He had to sit on the sideline for a few plays at the end of that game. He actually wasn't. He was there, but they didn't even really have him on the field too much the whole game because he wasn't in any big plays or anything. So
Well, and he's one who, if he does get healthy and he gets a little more solid on catching balls, he was a Robin to a Batman. He did that in Los Angeles with Keenan Allen, and they both have kind of not gotten back to where they were when they were Batman and Robin. So, I mean, he could possibly do that. Basically, we need another Juju. And we've already got our crazy Antonio Brown out there.
yeah, we've got that. So what are the pieces we need to make up the stereotypical Steelers offense? Yeah, no, it'll be a good game. I think looking forward to it. I think the Steelers could definitely win this. We'll see.
You do not
Baltimore
have
has
Batman there. You have the Joker out there.
yeah,
Yeah,
I love
that's more accurate.
Okay, well then we need our Harley Quinn.
Mm.
All right, so some of the other games that we have here for this week, because this is a fantastic week of football. That is the 1:00 game is Steelers and Pittsburgh, or Steelers and Ravens, and Thursday night tomorrow we have Washington and Philly playing. Oh boy, that's gonna be a game. How are you feeling about it, Jesse?
I mean, I think the Eagles have to win. You cannot let a rookie quarterback come in there on Thursday night in your fucking stadium and beat you. No way. Like, if they lose that game, it's completely unacceptable. Like, I mean, it should be a great game. But at the same time, like, I don't know. The Eagles are significantly more talented. Like, they are. Washington's defense is not that great. Jane Daniels has been great, but I just don't want any excuses on Thursday, quite frankly.
Well, don't worry. Sirianni will keep the.
Oh, well. That's
keep
a
him in
stone
it.
cold lock. Like, you'll be able to hear me from like 10 miles away if he does something.
Sorry, as Jeff Junk calls him, Nick Siriachi.
Siriachi.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
I think this is a big game for the Commanders to kind of, even if they don't win, if they have another performance like they had this past week, it's another statement game for them that, hey, we're here to play. And then maybe come playoff time, the story might be different on the second go-around.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so Philadelphia is favored by 3.5 points, which isn't too much when you're at home. You pretty much get 3 points just for being home. So pretty even.
I mean, division game
Vegas.
Thursday night. Both teams have 7 wins, so I get it. But
over/under is 48.5, which puts the implied point total for Washington at 23 and Philly at 26. So that's kind of the what Vegas thinks is going to happen. So, yeah, 2 7-win teams. They're not the only ones. I mean, this week we have 2 games featuring 2 7-win teams facing off, and it'll be a good game. I think that's going to be a great game. I think Philly should. I mean, this is one that Philly should win, but I agree that Washington, they need it. I think, but I also think that Philly needs it, and it's. When was the last time you had this as a Philly fan, being like, "This is
being
such
worried
a
about
huge game.
Washington,
We're
absolutely
playing
never.
Washington."
Literally, they've just replaced the Cowboys in 1 year somehow. So I don't know. I mean,
Times they are a changing.
yeah. I mean, it's a great win if Washington wins, but it's a complete and utter disaster if the Eagles lose. Like, that's how it's going to be looked at. Like,
yeah.
So I would argue it's a bigger game for the Eagles for that reason. Because if they lose, it's just they're going to get destroyed. Not just by me, but national media is going to be all over them. So
yeah. I mean, you gotta keep the pressure on. They have a horrible defense. They were able to hold their run defense together against us. I mean, we didn't have much of a run game against them at all. So I'm kind of curious to see what the Eagles do about that. With I mean, obviously,
well,
you guys
they have Saquon, so.
fucking Barkley, and not Najee Harris.
He'll just hurdle over him. No big deal.
More. Yeah, yeah.
I need a big game out of Saquon.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna get it.
Carrying my fantasy team.
Yeah, I think you're gonna get it. It should be a big Saquon game.
Let me see here. So that's a big one. Anything anybody else want to say about that game before we go to the next two?
Commanders rebound and win.
Oh,
All
Sorry.
right. Well,
Sorry.
I mean, after the last couple or last year here, and sometime through this year, the Eagles. I think this is like Jesse said. It's really important for them to win. If they lose, it's a bigger deal than if the Commanders win, because they've had stretches where they're lights out, one of the best teams in the NFL, and then there's areas where they look like pretenders, and they need to get what a lot of people would call a signature win.
mhm. Yep. Exactly. You got to do basically against the Commanders what the Steelers did last week, and I think one of the things with the Steelers winning that game was that I feel like we've found our identity. I think the Steelers, for the first time in a long time, have an identity now as a football team, and I think that might be something that the Eagles have been kind of looking forward to really solidify what their team is. You know.
Oh yeah, these last 3 weeks, Najee Harris has clearly defined himself as the best back in that running back room,
Yeah.
with his performance above the others, and that's leading to a lot of different things going on down the field. I'd like to see Freiermuth get a lot more involved over the middle in this offense, but other than that, they've really started to click.
Yeah, I think it
on
was big for us, and
more often.
I think Philly can and should do the same thing. Do it to the Commanders just like we did. Find your identity during this game and stick with it.
I personally feel like they should be able to run all over them with Saquon. Honestly, like their defense is just not good. But will they? I don't know. Like the only plus thing is that I mean it's tough to play on a Thursday night, but they didn't even have to play in the fourth quarter last week.
Yeah.
All of the starters were out, and Washington had to like play a tough game like to the last second of the game, so they're going to be a little bit more beat up. And they're the team that has to travel, so there's a few advantages for the Eagles, but I'm sure it's going to be not. I'm sure I'm going to be very stressed. Let's just put it that way.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest thing all Eagles fans would want to see this week is more Kenny Pickett.
Yeah. Well, actually, that'd be fantastic because that means we're blowing them the hell out. Yes, please.
All right. Some of the other that's the Thursday game. The 1:00 game on Sunday. That's the big one. Is Baltimore and Pittsburgh, and then 4:25 we have Kansas City and Buffalo, which I think is a big game. I think everybody here can agree that we're pulling for Buffalo to beat the. I have a hard time with who I'm hoping to win this game, because if Kansas City's just going to get the 1 seed and go undefeated anyway, like I'd rather Buffalo lose. As a Steelers fan who could be playing for the 3rd seed, I would rather Buffalo just lose this game, because if the Chiefs are going to only lose 2 games this year, I'd rather Buffalo just lose this one and give it to the Chiefs, just
Do the
because
Bills
they'll just
have
be
2
the 1
losses
seed
right
anyway.
now?
Yes.
They do? Okay.
Yeah.
See, unlike most of America, I don't dislike the Chiefs, and I do dislike Josh Allen. So
Josh Allen is kind of douchey.
I
don't
mean,
like
I don't give
either
a
of
shit about Josh Allen, but I just don't know how you aren't sick of the Chiefs at this point.
I
Yeah.
am all for Kermit the Frog having success.
Oh.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Jason's gonna come through the fucking screen.
And for that reaction that I'm watching in the bottom corner of my screen right now.
I can't even begin to unpack what the fuck you just said. Okay, Josh Allen's kind of a conceited douche. I like him, but you can have that. But you want Mahomes to be successful.
Problem is
I'm
that
here.
Mahomes isn't the one who's garnering all this success for them. It
Hey,
is
if the
actually,
Steelers aren't
honestly,
gonna
in
make
spite
it-
of him.
If the Steelers aren't going to make it, I'm here for the 3-peat.
Oh,
Kill
God.
me. Kill me.
Jesus Christ. The last thing any of us need is fucking Taylor Swift up after the fucking game
gonna
on the
fucking
field,
scream.
pretending like she gives 2
I'm
fucks
gonna
about
scream.
football.
I want to see a Taylor Swift halftime show when Travis Kelce gets the Super Bowl MVP.
No.
Well, she
That's-
apparently declined to do the halftime show a couple years ago, so I guess she's too good for it.
I'm
but-
gonna start doing my breathing exercises because I know you're just trolling because there's nobody on the planet that actually wants to see that. Other than fuck the Swifties, no.
Fuck the Swifties.
No.
And unfortunately for you, I don't really think that the Chiefs are going to get there. So they have a like you said before, too, like a cupcake schedule. They have like one of the easiest schedules you've ever seen. They basically play the Bills, the Texans, and the Steelers, and everything else is just. I think they played the Chargers one more time. The Chargers are actually starting to look good, which is the Sunday night game is Cincy and the Chargers this week, and I thought that was kind of interesting because I haven't paid any attention to the Chargers, and now all of a sudden everybody's like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute." The Chargers
They've
might
got at
actually
least
be
one
looking
more
good.
loss.
Yeah, so
There's at least
I-
one more loss for the Chiefs, and it's going to be
Oh, they'll
because
lose.
of
Yeah, I mean, they should have lost to the Broncos. They still have to play at Denver. Right? They beat them last year. I would still say Denver beats them, but I unfortunately think that's like week 18, so the Chiefs will probably be resting their
sitting
starters
anyway.
anyway.
yeah, I think as a Steelers fan, I, as a human being, I would love to just watch the Chiefs finally lose. And sure, if that's Buffalo, then that's fine. But as a Steelers fan, I guess I'd rather have the Chiefs win because if they're gonna take the 1 seed anyway, I'd rather the Bills just not get the win because we could very much be in a race with them for the 2 seed at the end of the year. So,
Oh yeah, that's what you want to happen, but what do you
Yeah.
think is going to happen?
what do I think is gonna happen? I think Kansas City will probably somehow fucking win it in like overtime. Josh Allen's gonna get fucked by the overtime rule, like we talked about the other day. I mean, it's just
I mean, it's the regular
Chiefs are
season though,
just
so
gonna-
both
yeah.
teams don't get the ball. So whoever
exactly.
gets
He's
the
gonna
coin
get
toss
fucked
wins.
by it again, and then that maybe if that happens, they'll actually change it for the regular season too.
Yeah, we can
Yeah.
hope, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills actually beat them by 2 scores personally, because I feel like the Chiefs just don't pass the eye test. I feel like the Bills, I mean, Josh Allen's playing better than Patrick Mahomes. Like, that's not an argument in my opinion. Like, he's having a better season than Patrick Mahomes right now. Like, it's in Buffalo. The Bills usually beat them in the regular season when they do play. So I won't be surprised at all if the Bills win.
Yeah, and I think
The Chiefs are
Jesse
due
got
to
to it
lose.
before me.
I think there's a lot of quarterbacks that are playing better than Patrick Mahomes right now. So funny.
Well,
Jesse
yeah, he's
got
got
to
an
it before
interception
me.
a game.
Say again.
So Jesse got to it before me. I was going to
Oh.
say the exact same thing because I think unless Josh Allen goes on one of his turnover specials,
Which he got that out of his system last week.
Yeah,
so-
he did 2 picks last week. Yeah.
and that's not necessarily the end of it though.
yeah, yeah, you're right. When it rains, it pours. So
Yeah, no. I Kansas City just doesn't look like a very good team this year. It's
Feel
I
like
mean,
they
they're
don't
just-
pass like the eye test at all. Like they just don't look like the best team in football, like by a mile. Like there's multiple teams that look better, but
you can
they just keep finding a
attribute-
way.
Yeah, you can attribute luck to like 4 of their wins this year, and like
There's not anything you can point to that they are excelling at, that they're the best in the league at right now, other than getting lucky wins.
yeah, right. And that's it's funny you see like the MVP talk and Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions, so he'll probably be out of the MVP talk, and everybody's like, now it's just between Josh Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes. I'm like, the fuck has Mahomes done?
Absolutely
You can't just put him
nothing.
into the MVP talk just because his fucking name is Mahomes.
I
He's
mean, the whole-
literally
He's
been
jersey
terrible
swapped
this
with
year.
the fucking refs all year. That's why.
Like, he's been terrible all year. He hasn't done anything.
I mean, the whole MVP award, like in general, is just like a complete joke. It's like completely narrative driven. It's basically who's playing the best at the end of the regular season is
Mhm.
going to win the MVP. As long as you get the prerequisites are pretty much get the number 1 seed in your conference, be healthy, and be playing
a
well in
quarterback.
December, and then you're good to go. You're going to win. Yeah, and be a quarterback. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. All of the quarterbacks would have to get hurt for like Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley to win MVP. That is what it would take. Those are the only 2 non-quarterbacks that even have a chance to be MVP, and it's not going to happen because it's not a fair playing field. So
It's a popularity contest. And that's why Mahomes is still in talks about it, because
Yeah.
people aren't actually watching him play the fucking game. It's like,
Indeed.
oh, wow, Mahomes. Like, have you noticed all season this season that every other quarterback has also figured out how to do a shovel pass to their tight end in front of the line? Wasn't that the craziest thing you've ever seen like 2 years ago when Mahomes did it? And guess what? Every
Mhm.
other fucking quarterback in the league does it now. So what is special about him? He's doing nothing. That's the only thing you see him do during these games is his little shovel pass, and then Travis Kelsey runs 3 yards for a fucking touchdown. It's like, ooh,
I mean, a lot of it is just they're just
scary.
so well coached on every single
Yeah.
phase of the game. That is why they're winning games.
Yeah.
Like they don't have the best offense, they don't have the best defense, they don't have the best special teams, but they're just so well coached. All of their coordinators are so good. They never lose them somehow to head coaching jobs. Why I don't understand, but that is why.
Fuck
think-
that human walrus that walks on the sideline.
Yeah. No. I don't know. I mean, I'm torn because I'd like to see Buffalo beat Kansas City, but then I'd also like to see Buffalo lose. So it's bound to be a good game. I'll watch it. I don't really care who
If this
wins.
were like in a playoff game in Buffalo, the Chiefs would win, but luckily
Yeah.
it's in the regular season, so
Yeah.
I think the
Right.
Bills have a very good chance.
Yeah, and that one, the Bills are actually favored by 2.5 points. The over/under is 45.5. So that is what's going on with that game. Then the last one that I had really for this coming week to talk about that's a big one is Cincinnati and the Chargers. These are two teams that are...
Didn't this game
both-
get flexed to Sunday night, or am I mistaken?
Yes, I think so. I don't remember what was there because I think
who
that
knows?
happened a while ago, but
They
Yeah.
probably pulled the Jets off Sunday night, hopefully. But
yeah, probably. But I think this will be a good game. The Chargers, all of a sudden this week, I'm just seeing a lot more about the Chargers. I haven't really had much of a pulse on them so far this season, but it seems like they're coming together, and I'm kind of curious to watch that game, being a Sunday night football game, and everybody can kind of get their eyes on the Chargers now that they seem to be in full swing and playing well. So that
yeah,
should
there's
be a
never
pretty good
like
game.
a Chargers stand like they're not on prime time a lot, so you never
Yeah,
actually get to sit
right.
down and physically watch them.
Right.
The one time that they were on prime time was like the second Monday night game against the Cardinals, and the only way you could watch it is if you had like NFL Plus or something.
Yeah.
So in other words,
right.
no one was watching.
No one watched that game, yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see them. I mean, they seem like they're heating up a little bit. They could very well be playing for a wild card spot. Same with Cincy. So I think both of these teams could potentially make the playoffs. This is going to probably be something that matters to who wins this game will likely matter.
Well, unfortunately, I
Come
think
the end of the
Cincinnati
year.
has 6 losses already. Are they 4-5 or 4-6?
4-5, I think. I'll double check that.
Yeah, I mean they're the team that needs them more though. Like the Bengals have lost so many close games; it's just been brutal. Like
4-6.
4-6.
yeah, I thought they were 4-6. Like they can't afford to lose this game. Like the Chargers are 6-3. Like I've tried to pay attention to the Chargers. They don't like blow me away by any stretch of the imagination. They're not like super impressive. Their receivers are very young. And I mean, but basically Jim Harbaugh can actually coach, unlike all the Chargers past coaches. So that is what's made them at least a respectable football team.
That's essentially what I've seen about it is that, Jim Harbaugh's doing a little bit more of like, he's not asking Justin Herbert to put the whole team on his back and win the games. He's more so coaching it as, you're part of the whole process here. You're just part of the team. You got to do what you got to do. He's not making stupid mistakes. He's not doing anything crazy. They're just playing good, solid, decent football right now. And that's what seems to be
That's better than most teams in the NFL, too.
Yeah.
So.
better than what you could say about most. I mean, they're probably going to get themselves a wild card spot out of it, which
I would say so.
But Broncos could also. I mean, the AFC North could be a 3-team playoff division.
I think Cincinnati's just lost so many
But-
games. I just worry they're going to keep losing close games and not make the playoffs. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, I think I hate to.
We still play them twice. Also,
Yeah,
Rest in
you're not going
peace,
to lose
but,
both of them either. So
I think if there's a division where you have a chance of two teams making a wild card, the Broncos actually are starting to click and look really good.
Yeah, right.
And the Chargers are starting to come along as well. There's obviously one team that's going to finish in last.
Yeah, right.
I might finish this show by going and laying in traffic, but
Never a bad
Yeah.
idea.
No, I think the Broncos and the Chargers both look like they could very well be the 3-team division as well.
Well, if you think you're not getting 2 playoff teams out of the AFC East because that division is horrendous, you're not getting 2 out of the South because that division is horrendous. So yeah, it's probably going to be 2 out of the North and then 3 out of the West. I agree. Like it's
Yeah.
probably going to be Broncos, Chargers, and whoever doesn't win the division, and
Yeah.
Steelers and Ravens.
Yeah, right.
So
Yep. So that seems like that's AFC playoff picture is kind of shaping up a little bit. Thing is with the Steelers, we still play literally all of our division games. So this is
it's
our
not
first.
a good thing though because those games are
Yeah,
always harder
I
than
know.
they should be.
This is our very first division game of the year. Here
Wild.
this week. So luckily it's at home. I'm hoping that we can,
And
get
it's
the bed win
against
for
the
the
better
rest.
team too. So
Get that one out of the way. Let us play the Browns twice. We play the Browns like twice, like almost back to back.
I'd say what a luxury, but I guess the Eagles get to play the Giants and Cowboys
Yeah, I was
twice this
gonna
year. So.
yeah. Yeah, so didn't really have any much else. The Bears OC got fired. It seems like he might have
Waldron.
been wanting to bench Caleb Williams, and that might
I mean,
have
an
been
OC
the
is
problem.
never going to have that type of power.
But yeah, that's what I heard through the grapevine online. I was seeing people saying that he was advocating to bench him, and they were like, "Hey, fuck you."
I mean, he was a
Caleb
disastrous
Williams
hire
is
anyway.
advocating.
I'm pretty sure that he came from Seattle, and like about a lot of the Seahawks players were basically just like laughing whenever like they found out the Bears hired him because
Yeah.
he was just like horrendous in Seattle. So what the
Right.
hell? The Bears literally just set Caleb Williams up to fail. Like they should have. Eberflus shouldn't be their head coach. They should have fired him last year, and they should have never hired this offensive coordinator. Like it's no
Yep.
wonder they're not succeeding.
It's like the Bears almost have like this cycle that they go through with every quarterback.
Yeah.
They just ruin them due to bad coaching and throwing them out to the wolves. Horrible coaches that just absolutely just like they don't have a culture there. Like I saw a replay of Caleb Williams after he got sacked last week where a member of the other team comes over and picks him up while he's literally sitting there, like he's on the ground like this, just like holding his head, just like what the fuck, because he's been sacked like 6 times.
So many times.
A lineman from the other team picks him up off the ground, pats his shoulder, and pats him on the head and walks away. He's like, sorry
like,
yeah,
about
sorry,
that, buddy. And it's just like, where the fuck are your what a disaster. I just don't see that that's changing anytime soon. I mean, they've
Not
made
this year, no.
attempts and they're terrible at picking people. And I mean, Caleb Williams, see you on another team in like 3 years.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but they got to just get an entirely new staff in there for him to even have a chance. I wouldn't rule him out yet, though. Like having a successful rookie season is always asking a lot. I know that everyone has such high expectations now, but not every quarterback is good right away. It's so determinative on the situation that you're in. Like Jaden Daniels is in such a better situation. He's got competent coaches around him, and Caleb Williams isn't, and that's what's going on.
I would say
there's a
that.
good
I'd
chance.
say see him in 3 years somewhere else because
Well, I mean, you guys could be right.
Yeah.
modus operandi. The Bears gonna Bears. It's like Browns gonna Browns, Bears gonna Bears.
Yeah. I just
You
don't
got
see.
Trubisky,
any of that's
Fields,
changing.
and Williams all
Yep.
follow the same. All
Yeah.
following the same route so far.
Nothing's changed in what? I mean, what was.
I mean, they're the
Trubisky
team that
drafted
hasn't had a
in
quarterback in a literal
18?
lifetime.
Oh, yeah. Not in our lifetime.
I mean, unless you want to Jay Cutler or Rex Grossman, but I don't mean.
Well,
wouldn't
one
call
year
those-
Trubisky got him to what?
You put some respect on Sexy Rexy's name, all right? He took him to a Super
I was
Bowl.
gonna say, got him to a Super Bowl. I'll give him that, but
Yeah, and he ran into fucking
Peyton Manning,
yeah.
What can you do?
Even though when Devin Hester ran that opening kickoff back, I was like, the fucking Bears are winning this shit.
yeah, but no.
Yeah.
That was about their highlight of that game for them, if I remember correctly.
I think their issue was they had Rex Grossman at quarterback.
Yeah,
exactly.
as it turns out.
Quarterback's just always been the problem.
Yeah, the other team had Peyton Manning, and they had Rex Grossman.
Mm-hmm. Not a fair fight, for sure.
Yeah, wasn't it Tony Dungy versus Lovie Smith as well?
Sure was.
Oh no. Well, see, that's Lovie Smith is one of. I just feel like he probably shouldn't have been fired. So, like they fired him, I feel like so early on the Bears. Like they just like got rid of him so soon, and he should have had a little bit more time there.
Gotta
They just,
blame
like-
somebody.
Moved him out and put in fucking Eberflus, who's just
Well, no, no.
such garbage. Or I
Well,
think
they
there was
had-
one in between
I
them.
was gonna say
Some
Lovie
other
Smith
trash.
hasn't been their coach for a while.
There was
like,
more than one in between them. John
Yeah.
Fox was there.
yeah, John Fox, Matt Nagy.
Oh, Nagy, yeah, that's the one I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I was forgetting about Nagy, but it's like I don't know. they just make terrible choices, and it's pretty funny every
Yeah,
year. And I
Bears
just feel
been a
like,
bear. Bear down.
yeah, I mean, yeah,
Bears
Caleb
down.
Williams. It's so funny you see like Justin Fields and Caleb Williams like both sitting on the bench, literally both just like staring up at the sky, just like
Why the hell
dead
am I here?
eyes, and you just see them both from their time with the Bears. And it's like, well, what do you know? You don't change anything else about this, and you bring in a different rookie, and but you just expect this rookie to change your whole team. You have to do other stuff.
I mean, they have a good amount of offensive talent too. Like, it's not like they don't have any receivers. I don't know how great their offensive line is, but clearly their coaching is just atrocious. So
It'll be a while before we ever see the Bears contend. I mean, they very well could just have the first overall pick again this year.
wow, it's gonna be
So
hard
they
to top the Giants, but you know,
Yeah.
Panthers not far behind. It's gonna
Well, I
be,
mean, the
it's gonna be
Panthers
a
are
battle
pulling it
towards the
together. Yeah, Panthers beat the Giants.
which is
Um,
not saying much. But
yeah.
sorry, Drew Lock season after the bye week, so the Giants will be back.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear that they may actually bench Daniel Jones.
I mean, I think they have to. Like, it's
you can't.
it's bad.
You can't just keep putting him out there.
No,
We get you paid him money, but you know what? Suck it up. It's just
yeah.
it's
I mean,
literally like
Brian
watching
Dable's
the
already a
Browns.
dead man walking. So
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
yeah.
watching the Browns trotting fucking Watson out there every week and be like, he gives us our best chance to win, and then walk
like,
away
no,
from
he
the
does
fucking
not.
podium. Like, shut the fuck up. You paid
He's
him a
just
lot
like,
of money.
I just say what I'm paid to say, and that's all. That's
Yeah.
it.
But well, I didn't really have much else. Is there anything else that anybody else wanted to touch on before we hop off of here?
Fuck
Yeah, about
Kevin.
the main games. Fuck Kevin.
Yeah, those are the big ones, and it's nice because it's a Thursday night, 1:00 game, 4:30 game, and Sunday night football. It is a whole week of watching some good football. The Monday night I think sucks. I don't know what it is. I'll have to look.
Also, don't remember.
Let me
Let's go
see.
Gardner.
Kill yourself. I'm just wondering who I'm going to parlay as a touchdown scorer on Sunday with a Mike Tyson knockout on Friday.
A tight end, most likely.
Yeah, throw that.
Do I just end my stream right here?
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
that's what's
yeah.
gonna happen.
Yeah, no, unfortunately the Monday game does blow because it's Dallas and Houston. So
Oh well, we're not allowed to have too many good things. So
yeah, yeah. So we almost had a full slate, full week of
Can we flex?
always having a good game on.
Can we flex Jake Paul and Logan and,
Yeah,
and Mike
Yeah.
For
Tyson
Monday
on
Night
Monday night?
Football.
yeah. Right.
That's the only thing that would save that.
Honestly, put Green Bay and Chicago in there. I would literally rather watch that, I think, than
it's
Dallas.
too late now. Yeah, but
Yeah, too late now, but all right, well, boys, I think
I actually don't think Monday Night Football's ever been flexed before. So I don't.
oh, I guess yeah, they don't really do
I think that they
flexing.
can this year, but I don't think they have. So
Yeah, maybe.
No,
They might-
aside from COVID era moving games.
Yeah.
I was just about to say I do miss, like it wasn't because it was always the Monday night team that got to do those random like Tuesday and Wednesday night games during COVID too. So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I think the
I think the
Steelers got
Steelers
moved
had
from a
one of
Sunday
those.
to a Wednesday.
Yeah, we were a I think a
What-
Sunday game, and we ended up being a Wednesday.
wasn't it against the Ravens or something?
Yeah,
I think it was a
against the
divisional game.
Ravens.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
it was
we still had a game then the following
Steelers Ravens
Sunday.
game that got
Yeah.
moved.
Yeah, they moved us to Wednesday, and then we then still had a game on Sunday. It was great.
Which is ridiculous.
But that week was great because I can't remember, we had football on Sunday, Monday, and then there was another rescheduled game on Tuesday,
Yeah.
Every
And
day
then
of the
Wednesday,
week.
Wednesday,
and
and then
Thursday
Thursday
night
night football.
And I think
Yeah,
they were
we
doing
had-
the Saturday night games at that point in time too.
Yeah, because it was late in the year. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Christmas
so yeah, we
time.
literally-
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
The
we
only
got
night you didn't have football was Friday night.
yeah, I got 6 games
Not
out
allowed.
of 7 days.
That's when you turn on the Isleys. What is it?
Yeah,
the Isleys Red
Isleys-
Zone.
The Isleys Red Zone. Yeah, well, no, even by
What
that
the
time.
fuck is
your
the
high school
Isleys
football's
Red
over,
Zone?
so-
High school football, baby.
Oh,
I
okay.
gotta
Oh,
have
yeah,
Jason's
yeah.
house. We watch some high school football. We get into
Yeah,
it.
the local channels get like the Whippeal games. So me, Dad, and Carly will sit here and just absolutely get trashed and watch like fucking
High school football.
Bishop Canavan versus like Gateway, like just Pittsburgh shit. It's so fucking great.
That
The
is-
Isleys Red Zone.
This is when you know you have a problem. Like that's a
You
sickness.
guys gotta
right
have
there.
some barbecue ham sandwiches there while you're watching that. Get some Isleys going while you're watching
Yeah,
the
no.
game.
No,
funny.
we're too busy. Dad's too busy fucking boiling the pierogies while I throw them in the oil and crisp them up on both sides.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I think that's all we got for tonight. We will check in and see how these games go next time we're on here. And Kevin, you're always welcome to join us.
Well, I think
No,
we do
that's
it,
not
We
true.
do it every week. That's not true.
I'll wear my Minshew jersey next time.
Do you remember being
Jersey.
asked for permission for this, Jace? No.
It's awfully fucking weird. Me and you are the ones that are in charge
Somehow-
of this shit. And,
Okay.
you know, there's a whole lot, you know, there was a week, you know, the LA trip where there was unapproved PTO.
Just
Yeah.
vacation
Now
days.
Yeah.
Cameron was bad enough. And then now we got to deal with this shit. Me and you
Don't
are
worry,
gonna
I'm
have
trying to
sit
get
down
Andy
and-
on here, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. We will reconvene next week, same time. Try to get on here around like 8. I like being done a little after 9. We'll start doing this around 8 o'clock every Wednesday, move it up a little bit, and we're paring it down. We got it at an hour and 12 minutes right now, so I think we're doing good on the time, cutting it down a little bit, not droning on for hours or anything like that. So good to go. We're looking good. We'll be back next week for week 12 or week 11, and looking ahead to week 12.
Ray John, motherfuckers.